This is the Progcast. Today I'm joined by my co-host, Zane, Callum, and also me. So,
Yeah, you're
and we're gonna talk about
you're
some
your fucking
things.
co-host, dickhead.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
also the co-host of myself. So
yeah.
basically, I
Wait, you didn't
guess
say
the
your own
first
name.
thing that's true. My name is Jaxon.
All right, we're good
So
to go.
this is the Improgcast. And we're gonna talk about some movies, and the first thing I'd like to talk about is the Lighthouse.
Oh wait, should we
Um,
explain like the premise that we every episode we pick two movies and one album, just so
True.
people know?
We should
that's
do that.
true.
Let's
Okay,
do
well
it.
there's the
I just did it.
premise. There's the
Yeah.
premise for you.
Yeah, we
Okay,
do
Yeah.
two
so
movies and an album. Kind of the idea.
yeah, and we're gonna each rotate. But
Mhm.
anyways, so we've all seen the Lighthouse, and Callum, you just saw it, right?
Yeah, I just watched it today actually.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's hear your opinion. What do you think? Because
It
me and
was
Zane watch it.
man, I don't even like. There's so much to unpack there. If you want like a star rating, I gave it 5 stars just right off the bat.
Yeah,
Just 'cause,
we all did.
yeah, it's so good. There's so much like I don't even know where to start. There's so much like just emotion
There's a
and like
lot
the
to talk
acting and
about.
everything. Yeah.
It's a goodie.
It was really
Yeah.
good. And one thing I liked about it is that there were so many different ways to interpret it. Like you can look at it 100%
Yeah,
literally,
for
like
sure.
all this stuff actually happened to them, or you can say, oh, it's a hallucination or
Yeah,
this, or it's a
yeah.
metaphor. There's so many
One
ways.
thing, one
to
one thing I liked a lot was how like that helps with that like interpretive thing is that
Mhm.
like the passage of time, like you never know how long it's been. It
Yeah,
could have been like a week, it could have been like 2 months. Like you never know how thanks
yeah, yeah,
Zane.
yeah.
You
And the
never know
part
how
when
long it's been.
there's a part where he says that he's like, how long have we been here? And he says 5 weeks, 2 days, and like the the 2 days part is interesting because to imagine that to them that it feels like it's been like months, but it's actually been not even the full amount of time they were supposed to stay, is such like an
Yeah.
interesting way to think about it because it's like
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that part a
So
lot too.
yeah, I just thought it was neat. But yeah, me and Zane. So this is I watched it for a second time with Zane. What do you
Yeah.
think of it, Zane?
It was a good
We know the
movie.
truth,
I
but
honestly, I don't
yeah,
really know how to. I don't really know how to like say anything about it. You know, it's just a
I
good
get
thing.
you.
It's got some good.
Yeah.
I like the black and white thing. It makes for some good
Yeah.
transitions. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's very like claustrophobic, especially with the
Uh,
aspect
Yeah, the
ratio.
aspect
yeah,
ratio
yeah.
is very.
Boxing.
It's like that. No matter what's happening on the screen, that is like subconsciously there.
Yeah,
The smaller view than what we're used to, so it messes with your head.
Hmm.
yeah.
I
I
like.
thought,
What do you
yeah,
think of the
I.
ending? Like, how did you interpret the ending? Oh, by the way, we're gonna spoil like everything we
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Major
Spoiler
spoilers
warning.
Yeah, I forgot.
for
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
movie, everything.
Yeah, it obviously like the first hour, it's not dull, but it's very tame and it's kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
And then like the
Mhm.
last 30 minutes is where like shit starts
Holy
to get
Yeah.
shit!
Like,
Yeah.
dude,
insane.
dude, I
And
remember
I'm still
getting
not
to the
even clear
part,
what was happening.
Monkey
getting to
pump.
the part where
That's
they're
what
like,
was happening.
oh yeah, we get off the island tomorrow, and then checking how much was left. 45 minutes were left in the movie. It's like
Yeah.
there's no way they're getting off tomorrow. They're here for a long
It
time.
was like it's like all this, and then like you see like just the slow deterioration
Mhm.
into just insanity and
Yeah,
like him
madness. It's
just
just
both of these characters just devolving into fucking like literal animals like fucking
Yeah. He makes him bark.
the
He
old
makes
guy
yeah.
he makes
who goes on the floor like a dog and all
Yeah,
that.
but they got the monkey pump though. Oh my god.
that was. I like how
Yeah,
that scene
monkey
just
pump.
happens and then like they move on.
Yeah, they kind of
Like,
just
he
move
does
on from the
monkey
monk.
pump, and then
Yeah,
they
because
go to,
they're constantly drinking all the
Mhm.
time, and they have the
Yeah.
monkey pump scene, which we love.
Yeah.
That
Monkey
was
pump
great.
Yeah.
is just I don't know what the fuck it is, honestly.
I mean,
I
I
think-
haven't even like mentioned it, but the cinematography too.
Oh, man.
Is,
Oh
is
my god,
really
yes, the
great.
cinematography. Oh.
So when I was watching it with Zane, I kept like I said I saw like there are like lots of very slow pans. The camera is very relaxed, and it's not shaky or anything. It's very
Even in
steady.
like the intense parts, it's still
Yeah.
very still.
Like
Mhm.
it doesn't use
Very
any
good.
cheap directing things to
Mhm.
like to manipulate you at all.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
like-
it's just one kind of very stable shot.
Yeah, like there were parts where someone would just be talking and all you would see is their face for the entire time they're talking. Like most movies, it would cut away to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the person's reaction,
And
but
especially when you see like
locked on
Willem
them.
Dafoe's character and he starts going
Mhm.
on this like 3-minute long
That
like
was so
verbal
funny.
Yeah.
attack.
But also so
He just
I
went
know
fucking
he's
crazy.
like
Holy
in the
shit.
acting, Willem Dafoe, he plays this character so well of just
Willem
this
Dafoe was great.
like evil fucker.
Yeah.
He's such an asshole.
Hate
And
that guy.
Yeah,
and
Dickhead.
he's super intense. It's great.
Like, and the reason he goes on that entire like 3-minute nonstop rant is because what's his name? Robert Pattinson's character just didn't like
Yeah.
his cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he
So
doesn't
just
like
goes
his
He
cooking.
didn't like his
Like,
cooking.
the-
He just
it's
went
definitely a horror movie, and it's really
Mhm.
scary,
Yeah.
and it's pretty frightening.
very
But like
thrilling.
the characters are very like charismatic and fun
And-
to watch.
And
They're
they
cool
feel real,
guys.
too.
What can you say? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
They're
horror movie and
yeah.
there's no monster. Like, there's such a
Yeah, it very much
That's
just
such a hard
I
thing
mean,
to
there's
do.
kind of a monster. A little bit.
kind of a monster. Yeah.
But really, that's just a delusion. It's just like
Yeah.
the character's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was weird to see this
Yeah.
complete character shift because he
Mhm.
goes from like this soft-spoken guy to just this like
Yeah.
he's like shouting at Willem Dafoe to like bark for him and all this.
Yeah.
shit.
He's going
that
fucking
was another
crazy.
thing. Like the first scene where he doesn't want to like they're talking at the gym table and he doesn't want to drink at first. You think
Yeah.
he's like, oh, he's just a young guy, his first time doing this kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but he's
like
been
an
doing it for a
innocent-
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you find out that he's like just this piece of shit guy that like has done so much awful stuff in his life, and he
Yeah,
just kinda,
and
like,
it's not
slips
like
out of that
it's not like a
persona.
it's not like a sad. Sorry to interrupt. It's not like a
No, no.
sad backstory though. It's like
Yeah,
it's a really like messed up one, and it doesn't
Mhm.
paint them in a good light.
no, like it's not like, oh, he was orphaned at a young age. It's like, no,
Yeah, it's
Committed
that's so
murder?
stupid.
well, didn't commit, like he didn't save someone that he could have saved, and he
Yeah,
that
and
isn't
he
afraid
to do
tries
it
to
again,
escape from that life.
yeah. Although I was watching it on Amazon Prime, right, and they have this
Mhm.
feature, at least on their console version, that's called X-ray. So it'll show you the names of the actors on screen.
Yeah.
Oof.
Before the reveal that his name isn't actually Ephraim, it listed his name as Thomas Howard. So I was like,
Yeah, it
oh,
does.
Mhm.
weird. Why does it say that? So it kind of spoiled that twist for me just by
Yeah.
having that.
We
in.
watched it. I mean, did you watch it with subtitles, Callum?
I did because
Okay.
I can't understand Old English very well.
Yeah, I've watched it twice, and when me and Zane watched it, like I was like, we should probably turn on subtitles because
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Old English, it's very hard to understand.
Fuck
I
Old
was worried it
English,
was gonna
stupid
distract
ass.
me by like looking down at subtitles all the time, but without it, I would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
not only the Old English, it's not words that you hear a lot, but also like it's
Yeah.
purposefully slightly lower quality. At least I found like
Yeah.
just because of the whole environment and setting it's supposed to take place in. But yeah,
I'm glad.
what do you think of the
like,
ending?
the ending, the circle back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the movie. I gave it a 5 stars, and I
Mhm.
really I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a
Yeah.
lot of it is just. And like there's right I forgot to mention, but near the end there's this scene that I really like where like Willem Dafoe completely changed his character and he's like, I knew you were crazy when you chased me with that axe, which is not
Yeah.
what we're shown.
Right.
And
Which-
I don't know if it's true or not. Like I don't even
Exactly.
know what actually
Yeah.
happened.
It's super interesting because it makes you think like, oh, was he just saying that because he's insane?
Yeah.
and 'cause he's
They don't really
blind, or-
clue you into much.
Exactly,
No.
which is
Yeah,
so
like
good. Like
Callum
normally
said,
it's
it's
like,
very
oh, I
interesting.
want to know what's going on, but
Mhm.
it just leaves everything so open that it's
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Something about it.
It's awesome.
The ending too, like the scene where he finally gets to the lighthouse. I feel like there's a lot of ways to interpret that scene, but I think my favorite one that I've heard and kind of thought of is that it's just a normal light, but he's screaming because like all that he went through to get there, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah,
making
like all this build up
shit.
and
Yeah, yeah.
and what he went through to get to it. Yeah. I didn't like look up any endings, but that does definitely fit. It's very depressing too, and then
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that would correlate with him just letting the birds eat him, just letting
Exactly.
himself
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Because there's
Or
no.
no, he falls, right? He
Yeah, he
falls.
falls.
Birds
But
just go
yeah,
on, man.
There's at least some time between him falling and the very final shot, because when he falls on the stairs, you can see him lying at the bottom of the stairs, like he doesn't
Yeah.
fall all the way out onto the
Yeah.
rocks. So something
Yeah.
happens in between that time.
Oh,
But-
I didn't even mention, but the score, like
Oh,
holy
dude. Yeah.
shit,
It's a
and
good
how
I
they
like-
use like the foghorn
I
too
was
in the
just gonna say
score,
that.
like that
I've-
super oppressive noise.
I barely even like.
it never goes away throughout the whole movie, which is so good because
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's character is like he very early on he hates the sound. He makes that clear.
Yeah,
So to have
Yeah.
it going on, just adding to like the insanity that they're already dealing with, is so good.
it's the most effective shit I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
good.
I
feel like
wasn't even
this
paying
podcast
attention
is
to
gonna
much
be
of
us
the movie
saying
score.
so good in
honestly.
different ways.
Sorry,
But
what
it
were you
is.
saying, Zane?
I wasn't even paying very much attention to the movie score. I kind of forgot it existed because I was just listening to
Yeah.
the fucking foghorn.
Yeah, sure,
exactly. It
But that's
fits so
another great thing about
seamlessly.
the score. It just kind of like blends into the background while also being so like, I don't know. It's just perfect for the scenes
Yeah.
that it's in, I think.
For sure, and like the opening shot with the score in the background of the foghorn, yeah, it's perfect.
Mhm.
I'm really glad like the movie, because I thought like this is a very I would say this is a very like not casual movie.
No,
I'm very
no.
surprised it hit home with so many demographics. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people really like this movie, as weird as it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not much
But
of
a lot
an.
of the time.
Oh, yeah, you
Sorry,
speak.
go ahead.
Oh.
You go, Zane.
Oh. Alright.
It's gonna happen a lot. Discord delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not much of a fan of like all the artsy shit. Like, it's a different aspect ratio. Oh, you're doing it in a different color scheme. Blah 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 blah. Blah. But no, it's actually a really good movie. I'll be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I
great.
wasn't
That's
I wasn't
totally great.
going into it with much like expectation. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it's fucking artsy. Who gives a
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
right?
And that's a hard thing to do because
Yeah.
at worst it comes off as like you're just doing random shit and calling it artsy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think everything that happens in this movie has like an actual purpose behind it. So it's
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, no matter who you are, even if you don't like the movie, you can definitely find something to appreciate about it, which is
Mhm.
why it works for
Mhm.
so many people.
Even
Yeah.
the cinematography alone is like just
Yeah, it's great. It's excellent, and just how they, like I said, like the slow pans, but also how they just, you get these wide shots, but you also get these super close shots, and
Mhm, but
like,
just
but it's
long.
not like shot reverse shot at all. It's just like.
No.
And then they also, one thing I thought that I really liked is just how like the camera will go through walls. It won't break that single take. It'll
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
yeah.
like walls and follow the characters.
And
Right.
another thing about we were talking about those close-up shots is that sometimes like you want the camera to pan away from their face because it
Yeah.
just has become like uncomfortable.
It's very
that's the
it's
point.
unnerving. Like it's super claustrophobic.
Like it just adds not only to make you feel how the characters are supposed to be feeling, but to just add to that feeling of how uncomfortable and just like upsetting this whole environment
Yeah.
Yeah.
is.
Alright.
Really
Stupid
good.
ass ordeal.
Yeah, great movie. We all
Yeah.
gave it 5 stars.
Yeah,
So,
that's my review.
It's our pressing
Are we
opinions.
good? Are we good to
So-
move on?
I think so. I feel like we've
Okay.
said
Yeah.
all I can think of.
Yeah.
Are we gonna
So
talk about now, the next movie or the album?
yeah, I think we'll talk about the next movie.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna sit this
um,
one out.
Zane's gonna have to sit this one out because
Yeah.
Yeah.
only me and Callum have seen it.
Next time,
um,
I'll be in the talk for all three. It's not like I was saying much in the last.
It's
Or
okay.
me.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't really know much about film. That's the whole thing.
All right. Well, that's why I want to do a music one too.
Yeah. 'Cause I know
Yeah.
about
So yeah,
that.
Sorry,
I've
my dog is
noticed,
scratching
Callum, that
upstairs.
you've put this as one of your favorite movies.
I did.
Which,
I did actually. And
yeah.
because of that, I want to know what you think of it.
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
have a lot to
curious.
say. Like I put down some notes and everything. Hold on.
Shit,
Also,
I
don't
was-
like you don't have to pretend you like it just because it's one of my favorite movies. If you
No,
think,
I'm
like,
not
I
gonna
want the
pretend.
conversation
I'm gonna
moving,
kind of
so-
tear the shit out of it.
I was
Oh,
gonna.
okay.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
guys. I would really like to not hear because I kind of want to watch the movie. Honestly.
Yeah.
We'll try to
Okay.
avoid
Well,
spoilers as much as we can.
I'll keep it mostly spoiler free. I won't really. I'm just gonna say like a few things, and then Zane,
Alright.
if you want, you can just
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you can't.
I
Yeah, I
can't really
understand.
deafen.
Well, I'll keep this one spoiler free then.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, obviously, what a lot of people liked about the movie was just like the cinematography and everything,
Mhm.
which is like excellent. It's great,
Yeah.
and just how they use colors. I don't think this is too spoilery because it's kind of like the
The
theme
movie
of the
has
movie.
colors
But
and
how like
major
how
plot
these
spoilers.
how yeah, I'm not going to, but like how like as this character's trying to make his life less bleak, the color palette
Yeah.
completely changes and it's way more vibrant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah.
a nice touch.
So
I
what
thought
didn't you like?
yeah. Well, I'll go over like a few more things that I liked a lot.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I thought I liked the really synthy score. I
Mhm.
thought that
Oh.
was pretty good. I
Just
thought it
the-
worked really
the
well.
tone,
It's very
the theme, I think.
futuristic.
Yeah, for sure.
Synthetic.
It's got some like there aren't very many action scenes, but the ones there are, I thought they were pretty well done.
Yeah.
They kind of do that same like one take idea, and especially like the first one with Batista. That
Yeah.
was a really cool scene.
I like that one because it's
Um,
kind of grounded. Like, there's no crazy explosions or anything going on.
Yeah.
Kind of
It's
two dudes
it's
fighting.
very relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna just say like a few things that I
On to the
don't
bad.
like.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's hear
there are
it.
definitely things I don't like. Like I thought the whole thing with like the wooden horse MacGuffin, I thought that was pretty boring and it went
Mhm.
on too long. I didn't like that very much.
I
Obviously,
think
it's a
more-
very like this isn't like the only opinion you could have. You
Yeah,
could
of
like
course.
that part, but I'm
I
just
feel
saying
like-
it didn't work for me.
The way I saw the wooden horse was less that like he was looking for the horse itself and more like the memories surrounding it. He was trying
Yeah,
to figure
it's
out like
definitely
did
a
this really
metaphor.
happen? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought it was pretty boring and it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
didn't really work that much for me.
MacGuffins in
Um,
general are really hard to pull off in a way that's not sleep inducing.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't really like any of the stuff with the love interest. I thought there were like some really cringeworthy lines, especially with like the romance stuff that I really
The
didn't like. They made me wince.
I haven't seen it in a while. The robot girl, not the robot, the hologram girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hologram, and then just the other girl who was there. I don't even know. There was one scene with her that really sucked. That was really bad. That was like there weren't any scenes I really hated, but that's the one scene like I really didn't like at all.
Which one
That
was
seems
that? I'm
bad.
trying to think because
It
there's
was the one where he first
like
meets the girl, not the hologram girl, but the other girl.
the antagonist girl or the like his boss.
Like the girl at like the sex place or whatever. It's when it's when he meets her, and she's the girl that like lets the hologram girl be physical or whatever. I thought
Oh
the
yeah.
scene where those two meet, I thought that stunk.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
other scenes were either
Okay.
like okay, good, or pretty great.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I thought the performances were mostly good, but like they don't really get a lot of like none of them are really fantastic, I don't think, just because they are playing like robot characters, so they're
Yeah.
not supposed to really emote that much.
I did think Ryan
Um,
Reynolds was really good though because he's holding so much like back, like his character is holding so much back that whenever
yeah,
he like
and
lets that
and the
emotion
scenes
out.
where he does get to really show it off, those are pretty good. Like where
Mhm.
he learns that he does have like an actual backstory and all that,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
and he like spazzes out. That was a good
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the thing that I really liked about it was the fact that it's a protagonist, so obviously you're supposed to care about the protagonist, right?
Yeah,
But in the context of like the world he lives in, he does not matter. Like he is a nobody, but
yeah,
he's
no,
still
very significant.
Yeah, so it's literally the story of a meaningless person trying to make their life have meaning. They want to be that like chosen one. They want to be special, right?
Yeah,
So I really
very much
like that
about that.
aspect of it.
Yeah, and like how everyone wants to be a hero. Yeah, like
Hmm.
that was the strongest thing for me was just the themes of the movie
Yeah.
and how well they're conveyed. I thought that was really good.
And I know like subverting expectations is a double-edged sword because sometimes directors will just do that for the sake of doing it. But
Yeah.
where a lot of the time you would just see that trope of like, oh, main character is the chosen one, you know? I like that it was kind of an undoing of that where it's like he wants to
Yeah.
be,
Yeah,
you know, and
but
he's
he's
trying to figure out
not.
if he is. Yeah.
Everyone thinks they are, but none of them
Hmm.
actually are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
that
is
like that's a very good commentary. I thought that was really interesting.
and then of course the what was I gonna say? Like the I don't know the word for it because not sets, right? Because a lot of it was probably CGI, but like the environments, like just how
Yeah,
vibrant
they feel very lived in and
and
all that for
like
sure.
the world both feels like futuristic and advanced, but also like a slum and poor, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a juxtaposition of that, which I don't know. I liked that aspect of it. It might be better. Maybe this is just me like trying to make excuses, but
Yeah.
you might enjoy it more if you've seen the first Blade Runner.
Yeah,
Just like that might
that's what
affect
my
it.
dad was saying because I watched it with
Yeah.
my dad, and that's what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. It's not like a make
But
or break to the movie, but
yeah, like it
it
stands
kind
on
of
its
adds
own.
to
I
your
think.
understanding of the worlds that it takes place in, right?
Yeah, one thing I did like as well that I just want to mention is that like a lot of sci-fi movies I feel are just like a stupid excuse to show off CGI, and like
Mm-hmm.
they do it sometimes in this movie, but they barely like they really stick away from that. It all
Yeah,
feels very practical, and
and when they do
aside
it,
from
it's
like the
not.
ship scenes and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
but like
But when they do it, it's usually not for like some crazy CGI fight. It's usually for like an environment or like you said, a
yeah,
ship.
yeah.
So
Well,
it
the
kind
one
of feels
thing,
more
the
understated.
one part where it just like annoyed me was like there's this scene where it's like it just took me out of the movie for some reason, and it could just be me, but there's the scene where the hologram girl like she lights his cigarette with her finger. It's like you don't have lighters, like those are just replaced. That's so stupid. I just
Yeah,
thought that
I
was
guess
really
that was
dumb,
just
and it
kind
was
of
just
like
that
a ooh, future technology,
yeah,
you know?
it was like an
Throw that
excuse
in
to
there.
look cool. I
Yeah,
thought that was
yeah.
stupid.
I guess to be a sci-fi movie, it has to have a little bit of those like just to look cool scenes, right?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
definitely like
they didn't make it like oh it's like a crucial thing. It was just kind of in the background, so it
a
wasn't
minor
that bad.
thing. Yeah, yeah. What did you think of the? I don't know how to say this without spoiling too much, but like the climax in the water area.
Yeah, that was good. I like. Yeah, well, I'll keep it very vague for Zane.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like that. I like the ending. I thought it was pretty good. One thing
Yeah,
I like I don't have much to say about it. It just kind of I like the one character. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just gonna say I like that she was like she's very like she shows her like to be human is also to be like competitive and
hmm.
envious and all that stuff.
It's not
I like
just
that a
to
lot.
want to be a hero; it's also to get
Yeah,
angry, to want
yeah.
to
It's also to feel
win
like
with others,
anger
right?
and all that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. One thing I just this was the last thing I wrote down was just like how this movie was marketed as if Han Solo was like a main character, like a major part of it, even though he's
Yeah.
there for like 30 minutes of the movie. He's
I
hardly
feel like a
even
lot of
like
the time that happens though, where they have to market it differently from what's in it, because
yeah. I mean Hollywood does that all the time to
yeah,
get butts in
they have to
seats.
use like fan service. Like, look, the guy from the last one is in this movie. Don't you want to
Oh,
come
was
see
he in the
him, right?
last movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, that
That
makes sense. But just how they
that
put him on the front instead, like
yeah.
he's like literally besides the main character, he's like the biggest guy on the cover. It was like so stupid.
He's important for like one or two scenes, and then for the rest of his screen time, he's kind of more of a plot device,
Yeah, he's
just because
just kind
he's
of there.
just there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I know I don't really make it sound like I'm giving it a glowing review right now, but I still really really enjoy that
I
movie.
get why you
I like a
like
lot
it.
of
I
aspects
definitely
about
get
it.
why you like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Those are
would you
just
give it
like
out of a 5-star score?
yeah, I think I would it sits nice.
7? Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I think just like a solid 7. There are definitely a lot of things like I don't like, and especially I played down, but like some of the dialogue is like really,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, really cliche and wince
Maybe if I
worthy.
watched it again,
Like,
I would update it, my score for it. But
yeah,
it's been a long
I don't want to
time
like
since I
change your
saw it.
opinion. If you
No, no,
thought
no,
it was
no.
great, then like,
I did, but I also haven't watched it for like I said, I haven't watched it for a long time. So I feel like it's good to update your scores on things every now and then. Not saying I'm going to change my mind today. I'm just like, you know.
yeah, yeah, I get
But
you.
yeah, I enjoyed it. And the thing about like, I mean, I'm probably just gonna say this now because a lot of the time on this podcast, we're all gonna have different opinions about things. But the thing about movies and music is that every person who watches it can have a completely different experience, even though they're watching the same thing.
Yeah, of
But
course.
just for me, it was like
That's like art
True.
101.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is the
every
great thing
art
about
is
both
subjective.
movies. Yeah, of course. That's a kind of a blanket statement for the rest of this show.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have different opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
yeah,
we
I'm
wanna-
glad I got to hear your opinion. That's interesting.
yeah, me too. We want to bring
Alright.
back, let Zane join the
Handshake.
discussion again. Talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
album now.
So,
I
yeah,
walk
Zane,
back
how
in,
about
do the
you want to
handshake.
introduce us to the last thing we're gonna talk
Guys,
about?
this was my pick. All right, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it works. We chose the classic album, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good starter.
Legendary tune.
So before we talk
Oh.
about that, I'm gonna confess something. I don't know how I got this wrong,
Uh-huh.
but at first, I listened to The Wall because I thought that was what we were talking about.
Yeah,
and
I
then-
thought- I was wondering.
I was like,
And
oh.
then yesterday, you guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about Dark Side of the Moon." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I had to look it up. But you know what? I'm better off for the experience because now I've listened to
Now you've
two
listened to
Pink
two
Floyd
of them.
albums,
It's
which is 2 more than before.
Think
True.
about that. Think about
That was
that.
so-
Yeah,
Welcome to your
we should. We'll talk about the wall another
Future
time.
episode.
Yeah,
But,
that's probably gonna be one of your albums, huh, Jackson?
probably. Yeah, I love the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, why don't you lead us in this section, Zane?
Oh, you want me to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
But
kind of
you,
a.
What do
the
you?
music guy give his take.
Yeah, they call me the music guy because really I'm just the music guy with a bunch of with two film guys. What can I say?
I would come out to the
We can
film
we
guy
can
just
go
yet,
over each
but-
song if you want.
I can go what?
You can go over like each song if you want.
Yeah, true. I
Oh.
can. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's
So-
just something about it. So go on.
Yeah, it just. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very classic, obviously.
It's a
One
very
thing,
classic
it's another
album, yeah.
thing, like with like the Lighthouse, where it's like, I don't know how this works for like casual audiences who aren't already
Mhm.
Pink Floyd fans, because
Yeah.
like there's one song that's just 4 minutes of screaming, like,
Yeah.
and it's and somehow people
Great Gig in the
like
Sky?
this album.
Yeah. Great gig.
Yeah, Great Gig in the Sky.
I honestly
Yeah.
love like just the first part where when her voice kicks in
yeah.
Yeah.
such a good moment that just
Yeah.
like hooks you into the whole track. That song is like an experience, man. That song is
Yeah,
on a different
yeah.
level.
it's just like it's the atmosphere they make, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, there's such a
It's
huge.
great.
They're like there's so many huge atmospherical moments in it, like the
Yeah.
guitar
Yeah.
solo in "Time," "Break in the
Mhm.
Sky," "Us and Them," the chorus part of that. Like there's so like
Yeah.
it's like those parts are just so big. Like I
It
don't know.
Might
feels
give
like
my,
you're really just like you're in space or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
You're
know,
just, like,
man.
floating
There's,
around.
there's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
yeah.
another way to describe it other than like big and spacious.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It feels very large scale. You
Yeah.
know? Like it feels very
Yeah.
impactful.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give my artsy trying too hard to be deep interpretation of it
Yep.
here for a sec,
Okay.
but I feel like when you listen to the album start to finish, it's like meant to represent like a human life from start to finish, if that makes sense, because it's
Actually,
first of all, yeah, it
Yeah.
starts with a
That's-
heartbeat
Yeah, for
fading
sure.
in, and it ends with a heartbeat fading out, which is like
Yeah.
right
Right.
there on its own should kind of
Yeah.
tell you. But there's like parts where, like, what's it called? The time where they're talking about, oh, you've let 10 years pass you by. That's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
Mhm.
midlife crisis stage, you know?
Yeah.
And then-
I think it's very much just human condition.
Yeah.
Like in
Mhm.
general.
All that,
Just
yeah.
like it's like a Blade Runner thing where it's like what it means to be a human. you
Exactly,
know, and
for
all these
sure.
things that can ruin your life.
Yeah. And Money, that song is kind of the stage of your life where it's like, okay, I gotta make my way up the corporate ladder,
Yeah.
you know, I gotta do well
Yeah.
by 9 to
Yeah.
5. And then going back a few songs, On the Run. This might be a stretch, but that song is really just kind of like a pulsing beat the whole time.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's supposed to be that early phase of your life where everything is just like a rush, and it's like just go, because you go from like high school, right out of high school, you go to university, right out of university. It's like there's so much happening in your life in those like that decade period.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm overthinking.
It's kind of
it, but
it's kind of a song about fear, really. Like that's that's what they kind of described it. It's kind of a very
I
like
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's more kind of just like well, like I said before, just kind of like what it means to be a human, and especially just like how like the negative things that can impact your life, like all this stuff. They're very, they're great sounding songs, but they're very negative and like depressing.
Yeah.
A lot of the what I've heard of Pink Floyd so far is like that, like the Wall. Not to talk too much about it because that's for another time. But
another time.
The songs themselves sound great, but like the subject matter is so depressing and just
even more
dark.
So than Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, The Wall is very depressing.
Yeah.
Dude. Not to talk too much about it, but after listening to that song, I was just like, now what? Like, where do I go from here?
Yeah. Yeah. What? I kind of want to hear like your opinion on it from like a very like a standpoint from like not
which Dark Side of the Moon or
like Dark Side of the Moon. I kind of want to hear your take on it because you haven't really listened to Pink Floyd.
Yeah. So, do you want like music or like how the music
just go ahead
because you kind of talked about the
it kind of talks about the plot
meaning.
already. Yeah, the meaning of it.
Obviously all the music sounds great to me. I don't know anything about music theory, so I can't really say too much about like I like how it sounded, but like I did, like there's so many moments like you were saying that they just hit you like a truck. Like the part where what's it called, in Breathe in the Air, that song where it goes from like screaming and noise to just like a quiet understated like guitar on its own. That moment is so good. There's also on The Great King in the Sky where it starts, where her voice kicks in for the first time. That's a great part too. Like there's a lot of those that's what really stood out about it to me. Those individual moments where it's like just something big happens, something big and spacey, like you were saying.
I like you talk about Breathe in the Air. That's probably my favorite song on the album.
Oh, it's great.
I don't know, something about it, how it just comes in and it's like like it's very wide and vast. Just how it sounds is great.
I mean, pretty much the whole album is just a huge sound.
Yeah,
and it's one big song too. Like
they all just go into each other, except for like when you're switching the sides between Great Gig in the Sky and Money.
Well, I listened to it on Spotify, so I didn't have to deal with that.
No flipping. No flipping the vinyl around on this one.
Yeah. But
there are a lot of going back to just the lyrics. There are a lot of lines that are like really haunting, and I really love, like especially the one on Brain Damage. Just the delivery on it, where he says, "And there's someone in my head, but it's not me." It's like so.
I'll bite, guys. I just got chills thinking about that one.
It's so good. It's great.
It is so good.
Roger Waters is really a really good lyricist.
So I'll give some behind the scenes if you're interested in that. But basically, the talking and all that you hear throughout the album is what I'm pretty sure. I haven't done a ton of research.
Yeah,
but like
I can
what I've
correct
heard.
you.
Yeah, what I've heard is that they just got a bunch of people off the street and asked them like, what was the first fight, or like how do you feel about death?
Dying?
Yeah, like all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they just like they kind of started with simple questions like what's your favorite color and stuff, and delved into more personal, deep questions.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. And it wasn't even just strangers. They did stuff like the engineers who were working on the album, and also the guest vocalist on Great Gig in the Sky. They also interviewed.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if this is true because I heard it in a YouTube comment, which is never a reliable source. but that singer, that was her first time, the first attempt, like,
Yeah.
at singing that, and they said
Was it
you should
really?
voice like a
Yeah,
saxophone.
yeah.
Like,
Basically, they brought her into the studio, and they're like, oh, do something, right? This is, by the way, this is what Roger Waters says. So it's pretty reputable, guys. So basically,
Okay.
he did. She started doing stuff, right? And he was like, hold on, and then just like says, do this stuff, and then she does another take of it, like the whole thing, and then they're like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
like, thank
I heard
you.
that,
Imagine
but I
showing
thought it was
up.
a myth because she sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just showed up,
Good.
just showed
One
up
of
and
those
did
once
it.
in a blue moon things where it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
It's-
showing up, you're like, 4-hour
Yeah.
studio day, gonna have to do a bunch of takes, and then you go in there for like 20 minutes. It's like, all right, see you later.
You
Thanks
just
for
nail it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just fucking nail it.
Like I didn't think it was true. I thought it was just bullshit. Cause like I couldn't believe that was like actually something.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just want to mention also the song Eclipse as well. Just how well it wraps everything up.
With the
Yeah.
fading out heartbeat, yeah.
Yeah, the fade out heartbeat, but especially how it it brings everything together, and it's
Yeah.
like this celebration of sound. It's great.
Yeah.
It even kind of like goes but like it references back to Breathe in the Air, because in that song some of the lyrics are like how you'll live and how you'll fly, like how
Yeah.
you will do these things,
Yeah.
and then in Eclipse it's like how you did do these things, like everything
Yeah.
that you've already done.
And they
And-
also, I don't know if you know, but in Time they also do like a reprise of that song at the end of Time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they go back and it's the rabbit lines, right? Like they dig
yeah,
dig
taking
the whole
yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah, technically, Rick wasn't wrong when he said the song is over. Thought I had something more to say because that just goes
Yeah.
into a different song.
Yeah,
Altogether.
yeah. Thought I'd something
More to
yeah,
say,
it's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does feel like one 42-minute long song, which is
Yeah.
amazing to be able to make that and not have people get bored,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
The songs go into each other so well too.
they do. So
I
like
love the transition
Yeah.
from Time to Great Gig, especially. I think that's a really good transition.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just a really simple fade, but the transition from Money to Us and Them is really good, especially with like the synth, like just like
Yeah,
starting
yeah,
to
yeah.
go in.
hmm.
Like it's just really ethereal. Like when you hear
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
like
Yeah, for
right
sure.
at the start of
That's
Us and Them.
good word to use to just describe the whole album.
Yeah.
Ethereal, honestly.
Yeah, ethereal.
It just feels like it came from space, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I know it probably sounds like such a I'm a
Mhm.
new Pink Floyd fan. Can you tell? I said it feels like it came from space, but
No.
still it does.
Yeah, they really were ahead of their time, honestly. Like
Yeah,
For,
honestly, like,
for sure.
they were for
not
sure.
to say old. The fact that it can hold up in 2020, because a lot of classic rock you listen to and it still sounds good.
Yeah.
But just like it
'Cause it's really
sounds
only
like
the
it
good
could
stuff.
be made by some alt band in 2020. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
the thing about like a lot of the music back in the day, you don't really hear the shitty stuff because it's already been like washed out because
Yeah.
it's just a thing of the time. So
Now,
all the
yeah,
good stuff
it's all
survives
coming
from
out
that
at once,
era.
So you hear all the,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't hear you
It
don't
really doesn't
really
happen.
hear the shit from that era.
which is interesting to think about. That in 10, 20 years, what songs will be like remembered and what songs will just
Yeah,
have basically not existed. You know?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
Alright.
That was really good.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
noticed-
nice.
I'm glad I actually listened to The Wall too, because now I can make this statement. But both of those albums end on like a looping back into the first song type thing,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is an interesting theme to go for, like just kind of the cycling,
Yeah.
just repeating. Right?
I mean, I like Dark Side. It has the same kind of like theme as Speak to Me, but like The Wall is actually like a loop album. Like it perfectly loops into it
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
The end.
because at the end they go.
Let's not get too into it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about The Wall.
Maybe
Maybe
Oh,
for another
We'll
time.
do
Maybe
that
for
next
another
time.
time.
We'll do
Yeah.
that next
Let's
Hold
talk
on,
about it
hold
next
on.
time, because we've been talking about it like
Yeah.
20% of the time now. So
Yeah.
we'll get it out of the way and get it out of our system.
Yeah. I
All right.
guess
Well,
that's-
how the rotation's gonna go is, me and Zane would be talking about a movie, and then you'd be doing an album, Callum.
I'm picking an
Yeah.
album now. Okay.
Yeah. all right.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Alright, so
I guess think about it. We'll all think.
yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking. I know you guys are both big classic rock guys. I'm not gonna pick exactly that, but I'm not gonna go too far off that either.
Yeah, that's
I'll try
fine.
and
You
find
can pick
kinda
what
a
you
middle
like.
Yeah, you
ground.
can
I wanna
really
hear-
pick anything
I
you
don't.
want.
I don't want to go crazy though with like some kind of like guilty pleasure music because you guys are gonna be like, this sucks, and I don't wanna
Yeah,
play this ever
I have
again.
a few of those, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah. Alright,
Alright.
so
Well, this was
Good
nice.
for our first episode. Yeah.
not bad.
We've
Not bad.
we've
I
been
gotta say.
the Progcast. This is our first episode.
Guys, we have
Yeah,
the
thank you for listening.
podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Thank
this
you.
will follow our socials. I forgot.
Yeah.
Link in the
Letterboxd
There's
and
somewhere. There's
stuff
somewhere.
will be in the description. In the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah,
Actually,
they're in the
no link.
description.
Have
They
to
might be
find
on
our
like the
socials.
thumb. They might be on like our whole thing. I don't know what's going on, honestly.
True,
I'll be
very
honest.
true.
I have no
Good
clue
night,
what's
folks.
happening. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.